stop with me, just for a moment. Think about this. Through every victory, through every heartbreak, there has been one witness. One soul that carried your fears, held your dreams, and never left your side. Do you know who that is? It's you. And yet how quickly we forget. The moment you wake up, the world pulls at you. Emails, deadlines, family needs, social media noise. Everyone wants a piece of you. And in the rush to meet those demands, you drift further from the most sacred relationship you will ever have, the one you hold with yourself. The ancient Stoics saw this clearly. They warned us long before the age of smartphones and endless notifications. They taught that self-love is not vanity. It is discipline of the highest order. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Pause here. Feel the weight of that truth. If your thoughts toward yourself are cruel and punishing, your spirit withers. But if they are gentle, compassionate, and rooted in truth, you grow unshakable. And here lies the danger. When you neglect love for yourself, everything else begins to crumble. Relationships drain you instead of nourishing you. Every criticism chips away at your belief. You start begging for recognition from people who wouldn't notice if you disappeared. And slowly, the light inside you dims. But there is another way. True self-love, grounded in stoic resilience, reshapes you quietly from within. It lays down an inner foundation no opinion can shake. It frees you from the venom of comparison and allows you to honor your own sacred journey. Maybe right now, you feel invisible. Maybe someone once told you, "You're too much," or "You'll never be enough." If that's you, hear me clearly. This message is for you. You don't need permission to love yourself. You don't need to earn it or wait for someone else to grant it. You must love yourself more than anyone ever has, not from arrogance, but from wisdom and inner responsibility. Because when you do, everything changes. You stop tolerating behavior that diminishes you. You walk away from draining connections. You stop chasing those who refuse to see your light. And instead, you become a magnet for genuine love, real respect, and opportunities that align with who you truly are. This is not theory. This is practice. In the chapters ahead, I will guide you through 10 disciplines inspired by the Stoics, 10 practical steps to rebuild your sense of worth. Each one a return home, back to yourself. But before we begin, I ask one thing of you: don't skim this journey. Don't rush past the words. Somewhere in these lines may lie the spark your soul has been craving. So breathe deeply. Place a hand on your heart if you can. And say this with me: I choose to put myself first. Because the truth is, no one else can walk this path for you. No one else can rebuild your foundation. No one else can teach you how to honor yourself. That is your sacred work. That is your responsibility. Life is short. Time moves faster than we think. You cannot keep abandoning yourself for scraps of attention, for half-hearted love, for approval that never comes. You only have today. You only have this breath. You only have this chance to return to your strength, your peace, your true self. Remember, the soul takes on the color of your thoughts. So choose thoughts that lift you. Choose actions that heal you. Choose a life where you no longer beg for love, but shine it from within. Now say it again, louder, stronger, until your soul feels it. I choose to put myself first. Because the moment you truly honor yourself, you become unstoppable. Lesson 1. Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love. Let me ask you something. If your best friend came to you, shaken, afraid, full of doubt, would you call them weak? Would you mock their flaws? Tell them they're worthless? Of course not. You'd lift them up. You'd remind them of their strength. You'd speak with love. So why don't we do the same for ourselves? Inside your head there is a voice. It never stops. A private conversation that colors every moment of your life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Think about that. If your thoughts toward yourself are cruel, punishing, filled with shame, your soul will wear that darkness. But if they are gentle, steady, compassionate, your soul will glow with strength, with resilience, with light. Here's the problem. Most of us walk through life with a harsh critic in our minds. It whispers, "You're not good enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not capable enough." That voice is an echo of past criticism, rejection, trauma, and impossible standards society placed on you. And every time you let that voice run free, your confidence shrinks, your spirit weakens, your potential slips away. But there is another path. You can choose to become your own encourager, your most loyal ally, the voice that never abandons you. Speaking to yourself with love is not arrogance. It is wisdom. It is maturity. It is survival. So how do you begin? First, awareness. Notice the automatic self-criticism. Don't let it pass unnoticed. Catch it in the act. Second, reframe it. When you hear "I always fail," shift it to "I'm still learning." When you think "I hate my body," try "I'm grateful for what my body allows me to do." When you sigh, "I'm so stupid," answer with "I made a mistake and I'm growing from it." Feel the shift. This isn't empty mantra. It's training for the mind. Just like muscles grow stronger with reps, your inner foundation strengthens with each practice. Third, intentional affirmations. Feed your mind truths worth living by. I am worthy of love and respect. Each day, I grow stronger and wiser. I trust myself to face what's ahead. I am proud of my persistence. Say them out loud. Write them down. Repeat them until they become your default voice. Finally, celebrate. Don't wait for perfection. Celebrate effort. Celebrate progress. Celebrate the simple fact that you keep going even when life is heavy. Because here's the truth. The way you speak to yourself sets the standard for how the world will treat you. If you constantly tear yourself down, you teach others to do the same. But if you speak with dignity, with patience, with respect, you show the world your worth is not up for debate. And when you finally become your own best friend, everything changes. You stop chasing validation. You stop tolerating disrespect. You no longer beg for love because you have already given it to yourself. So pause with me now. What color are your thoughts painting your soul? The darkness of criticism or the light of compassion? Life is too short to be your own enemy. You only have one voice that will walk with you through every chapter of your life. Make it the voice of strength, the voice of hope, the voice of love. Say it with me, I speak to myself with power and love. Because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. Lesson 2. Live fully in the present moment. Let me ask you something. How much of your life have you spent replaying the past or worrying about the future? Be honest. Hours, days, maybe years. Marcus Aurelius once warned, do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. The truth is simple. The only moment that truly belongs to you is now. But here's the tragedy of modern life. Most of us don't live here in the present. We get stuck between two illusions, yesterday and tomorrow. We replay old mistakes like a scratched record. Regret whispers, if only I had done better. If only I were stronger, smarter, different. And when we're not trapped in the past, we're held hostage by the future. Anxious thoughts rise. What if I fail? What if they don't accept me? What if everything falls apart? Do you see it? We miss the only space where life is actually happening. This breath, this step, this day. Self-love. True self-love is not clinging to what is lost, and it's not waiting for some perfect day that may never come. It's showing up for yourself right now. Because the present is the foundation of everything. Health is built here. Joy is born here. Decisions are made here. And when you abandon the present, you abandon yourself. So how do we return? How do we actually step into this moment? Start with the breath. Stop. Inhale deeply. Remind yourself, I am here. I am alive. This is my moment. Then practice gratitude. Each night, write down 3 things from today, not from yesterday's pain or tomorrow's hopes, but today. Did you share a laugh with someone you love? Did the sun warm your face? Did you survive something you thought would break you? Gratitude anchors you to what is real. And when your mind drifts, and it will ask, right now, what is true? What do I need in this moment to be at peace? Not what you needed last year. Not what you imagine you'll need 10 years from now. Just here. Just now. This is discipline. Bringing yourself back again and again to the present. Not because it's easy, but because it's the only place transformation ever happens. Think about it. You cannot heal yesterday, it's gone. You cannot control tomorrow, it's not here. But you can breathe here. You can choose here. You can love yourself here. And when you live this way, life stops dragging you by the collar. Fear loses its grip. Expectations stop chaining you to what you can't control. And suddenly, the ordinary turns radiant. The taste of morning coffee, the sound of laughter on a busy street, the quiet before sleep. These aren't small things. This is life itself. Marcus Aurelius was right. Time is short. The present is the only ground you actually stand on. To love yourself fully means to care for yourself, right here, not in faded memories, not in distant dreams. So let me ask you again, how much of your life have you spent everywhere? Except here, don't wait for a flawless future. Don't punish yourself with a broken past. Life is unfolding now. And the greatest act of self-love you can make is to live it fully. So take a breath, feel your heartbeat, and whisper with me, I choose to live fully in the present. Because when you do, you realize peace never hid in yesterday, and it never waited in tomorrow. It was always here, right now. Lesson 3. Learn to love your own company. Be honest with me. Have you ever been afraid to be alone? You turn on the TV, you scroll your phone, you fill the silence with noise because the quiet feels unbearable. Seneca once said, "The one who fears solitude also fears freedom." And that truth cuts deep. If you cannot sit with yourself, you are not truly free. We live in a noisy world. Notifications, deadlines, endless conversations. We're taught that busyness equals living. But often busyness is just a disguise, a cloak to cover the greatest fear of all, the fear of facing yourself. When you're not used to silence, being alone feels like a threat. You fear your own thoughts. You fear the memories, the wounds, the dreams that might surface. So you run into work, into shallow relationships, into artificial noise. But hear me clearly. Solitude does not make you weaker. Solitude makes you strong. When you dare to sit alone, no phone, no chatter, no distraction, you start to hear the true voice within. You see what you really need. You recognize what you truly desire. And you discover what you must finally let go. You no longer chase low-quality connections just to fill an empty space. You stand firmer. You choose connection from abundance, not desperation. So how do you begin? Start small. Create intentional moments of solitude. Turn off your phone. Take a slow walk. Sit quietly in a cafe and simply observe the world. Read a book that stretches your mind. Write down your thoughts, uncensored, unfiltered. And ask yourself, what do I truly want? Next, make your space a sanctuary. Cook a beautiful meal just for yourself. Celebrate milestones privately before sharing them with anyone. Dare to laugh alone. Dance when no one's watching. Smile at your reflection without shame. Then build rituals. Take yourself on a date once a week. Each night, write down one thing you admire about yourself. At least once in your life, travel alone to learn who you are when no one else defines you. At first, it will feel strange, even scary. But slowly, the silence will transform. Because in that stillness, you find freedom. You no longer depend on others to feel whole. You enter relationships not to be rescued, but to share the wholeness you already carry. And that changes everything. Remember this, you are never truly alone. You always have yourself. When you learn to enjoy your own presence, you become a fortress. Unshakable, steady, free. Life is too short to live in fear and emptiness. Instead of begging for validation outside, build a refuge within. So say it with me, strong, certain, unshaken. I truly enjoy the beautiful presence of myself. Because when you do, you don't just learn to love yourself. You learn to love life itself from the very roots. Lesson 4. Stop pleasing others. Start pleasing yourself. How many times have you smiled while your heart was breaking? How many times have you said yes when every cell in your body screamed no? We call it kindness. We call it care. But let's be honest, was it really love for yourself? Or was it silent betrayal? In today's world, people praise the one who always says yes, always available, always sacrificing. But behind that mask of kindness often hides a quiet denial. You show up for everyone, yet you disappear from yourself. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "If improvement is your goal, be prepared to be misunderstood." Think about that. The moment you dare to set boundaries, the moment you dare to honor your needs, someone will not understand. Someone will be disappointed. And that's okay. The real problem is this. When you cling too tightly to the opinions of others, your own voice gets drowned out. When you carry their emotions, their expectations, your spirit slowly drains. You become an actor in someone else's play, while the script of your own life lies unfinished. Let's be clear. The root of people-pleasing isn't compassion. It's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear of being left behind. But the more you let fear steer your choices, the more you hand over your freedom. And here's the truth, trying to please everyone is like pouring water into a bottomless bucket. no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. So let's reframe. They don't agree with your decision. Acceptable. They don't understand your boundaries. Acceptable. Their temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for your long-term freedom. Because real love, true respect, does not demand you shrink yourself to nothing. You can be generous and still have boundaries. You can be empathetic and still protect your energy. Putting your mental health first is not selfish. It is self-respect. So how do you practice it? Start with one simple act. Say no. No apologies, no long explanations, just one word, clear, strong enough. Speak your real thoughts even if they differ from the crowd, because your voice matters. Prioritize your peace even if it inconveniences others, because you cannot keep pouring into others when your own cup is empty. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You may feel guilty. You may fear their judgment. But each time you choose yourself, you send a message to your soul: I matter. My needs count. My truth deserves space. And piece by piece, you reclaim your strength. Remember this: those who truly love and respect you will support your boundaries. Those who lash out, manipulate, or withdraw, when you say no, they were never meant to sit at the center of your life. You can keep playing the game trying to please everyone. But let me warn you, it's a game you will never win. You can't save everyone. And in the process, you lose yourself. Or you can choose another path. The path of truth. The path of freedom. The path of peace. The path where you stop begging for approval. Stop wearing masks. Stop betraying yourself just to be accepted. So stand tall, take a deep breath, and declare it with me: I will no longer abandon myself for anyone. Because the moment you choose yourself, you don't just find freedom, you find your life again. Lesson 5. End the trap of comparison. Have you ever woken up with peace in your heart, only to lose it with one scroll, one photo, one promotion, one perfect smile? And suddenly you whisper, why am I not there yet? What's wrong with me? Am I broken? Seneca once said, it is not the man who has too little, but the one who craves more, who is truly poor. Comparison is the silent thief of joy. And in today's world, this trap is everywhere. You open Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You see someone's highlight reel, the vacation in Italy, the job promotion, the family photo where everyone smiles. And then you compare it to your raw footage, the stress, the bills, the arguments, the nights you doubt yourself. The result, you abandon your own timing. You overlook your own milestones. You forget the lessons that were shaping you. And little by little, your sense of worth shrinks. But let me remind you, your story was never meant to match theirs. The pain you've endured, the dreams you carry, the rhythm of your life, it is all unique. So why measure yourself with someone else's ruler? Think of it this way. Comparison is like running on a treadmill. You're sweating, you're exhausted, but you're not moving forward. So how do we escape the trap? First, pause. When the fire of comparison begins to burn, you stop and breathe. Ask yourself, what do I have today that I once prayed for? Gratitude grounds you in reality. Second, turn envy into inspiration. When someone achieves greatness, don't ask, why not me? Instead, ask, why not me at the right time for me? Their success doesn't steal your chance. It proves that possibility is alive. Third, redefine success by your own standard. Not everyone wants fame. Some crave privacy. Not everyone wants wealth. Some choose simplicity. Not everyone wants constant adventure. Some long for peace. So what do you want? What does fulfillment look like for you? Once you know that comparison begins to lose its grip, now comes the action. Create more, scroll less. Pick up the pen, the guitar, the paintbrush. Build something real instead of consuming endless noise. Protect your mind like you protect your body. Unfollow what drains you. Mute voices that leave you feeling less. Track your own growth. Write it down. Celebrate the small wins, finishing that project, making it through a tough week, saying no when you used to say yes. Because when you see your story on paper, you realize you're not standing still. You're moving forward, step by step. And here's the truth. You are not in a race with anyone. Your pace is sacred. Your journey is yours. And that is your power. Comparison will always whisper. But you hold the choice. You can keep handing your joy to the images of others. Or you can stand tall, grateful, present, alive in your own life. Life is too short to live in someone else's shadow. Joy is too precious to give away. So say it with me, strong, steady, certain. My journey is mine. My pace is sacred. And the moment you live by that truth, comparison loses its power. Joy returns, and you finally are free. Lesson 6. Honor your body as a sacred space. Pause for a moment. What if I told you the most sacred temple in your life isn't out there somewhere? It's here, your body. Socrates once said, "It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." And yet, we live in a world of exhaustion, a world where too many treat their body like a machine pushed until it breaks, then blamed for collapsing. Here's the truth. We forget your body is the home of your spirit. It is the only house you will live in for your entire life. And the deepest self-respect doesn't come from applause, promotions, or praise. It comes from how you care for this home. Look at modern life. We burn our bodies with caffeine instead of giving them sleep. We fuel with cheap, toxic food, then wonder why we're drained. We pile stress on top of stress like trash in a room never cleaned. And when the body finally collapses, what do? We blame it. Instead of realizing we abandoned it long ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is bad for the hive is bad for the bee. When you harm the body, you harm the whole of your life, your mood, your confidence, your inner light." But here's the hope you can change. And change doesn't start with appearance. It doesn't start with chasing fake standards plastered on social media. It starts with respect. When you choose real food, you're saying, "I honor myself." When you move not to punish, but to celebrate life, you're saying, "I am grateful, I am alive." When you allow yourself to rest, you whisper to your soul, "You are safe here. I've got you." This is not a race to perfection. It is not about sculpting some false image. It is about reverence, the most basic respect for the space you live in. So how do we practice this daily drink clean water instead of numbing yourself with what drains you? Step outside. Walk slowly instead of scrolling endlessly. Go to bed early, treating sleep like sacred medicine, not wasted time. Eat meals that nourish, not punish, sending the message, "I deserve the best fuel." And remember, detox is not just food. It's removing toxic environments. It's stepping away from relationships that erode you. It's clearing the clutter in your mind. At first, these choices seem small, but they build. Day by day, action by action, you begin to feel it. You stand taller. You walk with more confidence. You start to believe deep down that you are worthy of good things, because you are treating yourself like you truly matter. Understand this: health is not an optional bonus. It is the foundation. Without it, love, success, wealth, happiness, they all wobble. With it, everything has a chance to bloom. Your body is not a machine. It is not disposable. It is your temple, your home, your lifelong companion. Stop abusing it. Stop ignoring it. Start protecting it. Start nurturing it. Move it. Rest it. Respect it. And you will see life itself begins to transform in beautiful, unexpected ways. So declare it with me as a vow: I respect my body as sacred space. Because when you do, you gain more than health. You gain the foundation for a life that is strong, radiant, and free. Lesson 7. Pursue what sets your soul on fire. Let me ask you something. Whose life are you really living? Yours or society's, your family's? A set of rules you never actually chose. Epictetus once said, "Decide who you want to be, then do what you must do." The question is, have you decided deep inside every person carries a fire, a desire, a dream born from within, not from pressure outside? But too many bury that fire. They build lives that look perfect on the surface, yet feel empty on the inside. They collect degrees, jobs, titles, possessions, and yet every night they lie down with the same silent question: why do I still feel so empty? That is the tragedy of living for approval. Because living for approval is living in chains. But when you chase what sets your heart on fire, everything shifts. You wake up with energy you didn't know you had. You move through the day with clarity instead of confusion. You fall asleep with fulfillment instead of fatigue. Self-love is not only about kindness, it is about building a life rooted in meaning and curiosity. It is giving yourself permission to pursue what makes you come alive. So how do you find it? Start with questions. What do I truly want to create in this life? If money didn't matter, what would I work on? What problem out there is calling my name? Who do I want to become when the curtain finally falls? The answers may not appear instantly. They come piece by piece, through experience, through trial and error. But each fragment brings you closer to your fire. And once you see it, don't wait. Don't demand the perfect plan. Don't wait to feel ready. Begin now with what you have. If the dream is to write a book, start with a single page today. If the dream is to master music design, storytelling, or code practice for 30 minutes. If the dream is to restore your health, start with one clean meal, one walk. If the dream is to explore the world, begin with one small trip. The first step doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs to exist. Because once you act, belief begins to grow. And remember, pursuing your dream is not about burning yourself out. This is not the path of exhaustion. This is the path of steady progress, joy, and patience. You are not running to prove your worth to anyone. You are walking to become who you were meant to be. And that is true freedom. Life is too short to live in scripts others wrote for you. Time is too precious to spend on what doesn't set you alive. The fire inside you has not disappeared. It is waiting for you to decide. So stand tall, lift your chin, and declare this as a vow: I honor my future with consistent action. Because when you live this way, without waiting, without begging for permission, the world no longer asks if you are worthy. You've already answered. Lesson 8. Honor every step forward. Have you ever felt not enough? You finish something, but immediately a voice says, Not big enough, not good enough, not fast enough. So you keep running, keep grinding, and yet joy never arrives. Robert Brault once said, "Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things." We live in a culture obsessed with the grand, the bigger house, the larger paycheck, the higher title, and in that endless race, we forget something vital: to honor ourselves right where we stand. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." It's the same with growth. You don't need to argue about how far you've gone. Just look back, see that you are moving forward. Because every small step is a victory. Choosing discipline over comfort. That's a win. Silencing your inner critic for even a moment. That's a win. Surviving a hard week without giving up. That's a win. But here's the tragedy. Too many never celebrate. They dismiss it, overlook it, then wonder why their motivation disappears. The truth is, each time you acknowledge a step forward, you reinforce a new identity, the identity of someone growing stronger. Celebration builds momentum. It roots confidence deeper. And most importantly, it frees you from the need for outside applause. You don't need the crowd. You become your own cheerleader. So how do we make this a habit? Create rituals. Every night, write down 3 things you did well, no matter how small. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, "I am proud of you." When you reach a milestone, reward yourself not to escape, but to honor the effort that got you there. And never underestimate the invisible victories. The way you got back up after failure. The way you kept going when no one was watching. Those matter. They shape you. They whisper you're doing better than you think. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you only stare at the peak, you'll feel overwhelmed. But if you honor each foothold, each step, each breath, you'll realize you're stronger than you imagined. Life is not built only on leaps. It's woven from thousands of small steps. And when you choose to celebrate them, you nourish not just motivation, you nourish your soul. So let me ask you, how long will you keep overlooking yourself? You don't need to wait for a perfect day to feel proud, because right now, in this very moment, you already have reasons to smile at yourself. Stand tall, breathe deep, and say with me, "I honor my growth every single day." When you live with that spirit, the journey itself becomes the reward, and you are already farther than you ever believed. Lesson 9. Practice. Gratitude and forgiveness. Have you ever laid down at night and felt your mind still heavy? The things you don't have. The mistakes you can't forgive. The wounds that never seem to close. We think self-love means achieving more. But the truth is, self-love begins with 2 simple, profound acts: gratitude and forgiveness. Seneca once said, "No man is truly poor who can enjoy what he already has." Gratitude is the soil where self-love grows. Without it, you live in the desert of lack, always staring at what's missing, what's undone, what's not enough. But gratitude pulls you back. It makes you see how far you've already come, who still stands beside you, what storms you've survived that once felt impossible. Gratitude whispers that even this breath, even this ordinary day is a gift. It slows down the frantic pace of society. It reminds you you are already enough. But gratitude alone is not the full picture. There is another courage we need: forgiveness. Forgiveness of others, not to excuse what they did, but to free your own heart. Because anger is like carrying a backpack full of stones. The longer you hold it, the heavier it gets. Forgiveness is setting it down. And most importantly, forgiveness of yourself. How many times have you replayed the same mistake as if punishing yourself forever could somehow fix the past? Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by events, but by the view they take of them." Forgiveness is shifting that view. It's saying, "I have learned. I am allowed to move forward." So how do we make gratitude and forgiveness a daily practice? At night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Don't wait for the big wins. Write about the warm conversation, the good meal, the unexpected laugh. When old mistakes come, knocking stand before the mirror and say, "I have grown. I permit myself to continue." When anger rises, ask, "How long do I want to carry this chain? Am I ready to let my heart be free?" This isn't theory. This is medicine. Doses you can take every single day. When you practice gratitude, you stop living in scarcity. You begin to see beauty in the smallest moments. You live in a state of have instead of lack. When you practice forgiveness, you open the doors of freedom. You're no longer controlled by the past. You walk lighter, ready for the future. And when both come together, something powerful happens. You build a heart both unshakable and tender. A heart that can stand in the storm yet still remain gentle with itself. Remember, this self-love is not just discipline, not just care. It is gratitude for what you already hold. It is forgiveness for what you cannot change. Life is too short to live chained to resentment. Too precious to see only what's missing. So speak this with me firm and clear. I nourish abundance through gratitude. I unlock freedom through forgiveness. Because when you live this way, no storm can steal your peace. Lesson 10. Serving beyond yourself. Have you ever wondered, is life really just about you? You can reach success. You can earn the recognition. You can collect every prize you once dreamed of. And yet one day, it still feels empty. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." That truth still echoes today, because we were never born to live only for ourselves. Self-love is the beginning, but it is not the end. When you are filled, you begin to pour. When you are rooted, you want to impact. Service is the natural extension of love. And service doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to make headlines. It can start small, so small you might overlook it. A word of encouragement, a steady presence, a kindness no one else will ever notice. We often believe that giving means losing, but the truth is, when you give from wholeness, you lose nothing. Instead, you multiply. You plant a seed in someone else's heart, and somehow that seed grows back inside of you. So ask yourself each day, what can I do right now to make someone's burden lighter? The answer may be simple. A text that says, "I'm thinking of you." Helping a neighbor with groceries. Mentoring someone younger with the lessons you've paid for in scars. Because the truth is, what you've overcome is exactly what someone else is fighting through today. Your story may be the light that guides their way. And you don't need to wait until you have more. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Start with what you already hold. Start with where you already stand. Choose one act of service you can repeat. Volunteer at your local community. Offer your skills to someone in need. Or simply make it a daily habit. Do one thing not for you, but for another soul. Because when you serve, you discover something profound. You are no longer just an isolated self. You become a heartbeat within humanity, a thread in the fabric of something far greater than yourself. Life becomes deeper when you stop only asking, "What do I get?" and you dare to ask, "What can I give?" Service does not reduce your value. It expands it. It builds a healthy pride that you are not just living for yourself, but you are a shelter, a light, a hand for someone else. So speak this with me, clearly and powerfully. I serve something greater than myself. I am a part of something vast, something eternal. Because when you live this way, every day stops being survival. Every day becomes legacy. Pause with me. Take one deep breath. Let me ask you this. Have you ever lived an entire life without ever truly choosing yourself? We've been told self-love is luxury, a selfish indulgence, reserved for the people with too much time, too much pride. But the truth is different. Self-love is not vanity. It is lifeblood. It is sacred responsibility. It is emotional maturity at its highest form. Every day, you have a choice to choose yourself in your thoughts, in your words, in the way you spend your time, in the boundaries you set, in the dreams you dare to pursue. And every day, you can miss that choice. You can keep begging for scraps of attention. Keep accepting half-hearted love. Keep performing a version of yourself just to be approved. But today, something shifts. Today, you show up for you. Don't demand perfection. This is not a finish line. This is a journey. There will be days your confidence swells like the tide. And there will be days it crashes, pulling you under. But maturity isn't about never falling. It's about always returning. Returning to your breath. Returning to the stillness inside. Returning to the strength flowing through your body. Returning to your voice, your values, your light that has been here all along. Picture this. Every healthy boundary you set another brick in your foundation. Every kind word you whisper to yourself, a seed of healing planted. Every time you choose your needs over someone else's expectations, a torch lit on your path. Brick by brick, seed by seed, torch by torch. It adds up, it restores, it ignites. Until one day you realize you no longer crave outside approval, because your worth is recognized from within. And that is the summit, the moment you see yourself reborn. You are the love you've been searching for. You are the anchor. You are the foundation. You are the source. So today, dare to declare. Dare to affirm. Dare to live fully in this commitment. I will no longer shrink myself just to be accepted. I will no longer chase those who refuse to see me. I will no longer betray myself for approval. I stand here whole, free, fierce. I love myself louder than ever before. Let these words become your heartbeat. Say them like a drumbeat in your chest, because from this moment forward, you are no longer searching for love. You are the love. And when you live from that truth, you become unstoppable.